Okay, welcome to Light Warrior Sunday meeting. Today we have a very special day in store, but first let me get down to business. I'm going to be your tech host, and if you have any issues, you can send me a message and we'll do our best to help you. I say we because I hope Walter is going to get my back if I mess up some of the tech stuff. But glad to be here today. We're going to have more of a conversation than a meditation. So I'm really excited about that. So without further ado, let me introduce our man of the day. This is Hendrik, and Hendrik has been our usual tech host. He's a young guy from Germany, and he's got a lot of great ideas, and I'm sure we're going to really enjoy it today. So without further ado, here is Hendrik.
Thanks, Trent. Yeah, before I kick it off, I'd love the practice where what we're gonna do today comes from also has a practice of checking in with each other. So would love to hear where do your feet touch the ground? Just put it in the chat. Where are you sitting on this beautiful planet? How are you doing today? Yeah, let's keep it at those two because I will open up in a different direction in a moment. So just write from where are you calling in and how are you doing? Like 2, 3 words, emotions. What emotions are alive in you? So Singapore, 10 p.m. So is that implying tired, Safir? Sure. Light and happy. Beautiful. Wonderful. East Texas. Pretty high energy and light. Grateful and forgiving. Beautiful. And I know Mexico City, so at this point I know where some of you are from. East Texas. A lot of Texas in the room today. What is happening here? Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, as Trent said, today we're gonna do it a bit different, and to give you a bit more background, like I'm kind of coming in and always giving I did one round with conversation around story, where I also introduced the story dojo. Impressed from the rich culture in Italy. That's our Wouter, our Dutch calling in from Italy, and I'm the German calling in from Barcelona right now. So yeah, different places all around. I predominantly work in the context of dialogue. I work a lot, like my calling is to serve the evolution of the self. So I work with individuals in self-leadership and walk alongside leadership, like CEOs or founders or individuals who just want to take their life to the next level. And that's, for me, has to do a lot with getting in touch with the inner world, and that kind of guided me originally to Mind Valley as well, where we as a Light Warrior Collective met. And a lot of these practices are brilliant. Ultimately, though, it's what we carry in the inside to see if it's really like serving is when we engage with others and when we come together. And we also elevate our capacity to be by coming together. A group can achieve way more when they come together. It's like this the saying there: if you want to walk fast, then go alone. If you want to walk far, then walk together. And there are different modes of conversations. With the typical thing, which I think is an issue in our culture these days, we have a big debate culture, which is polarizing. It's 1 and 2, and we're debating all the time. And the mode of a debate, the intent is that you come with information, and then one side provides the information, the other side provides the information, then a jury or the public decides who wins. And then you have a discussion. And discussion, the origin of the word, means taking apart. And that's where 2 parties or more come together and take something apart. So we discuss a topic, we talk about something, and we kind of take it apart and we try and understand it better, and we sit it back together. And that's then when you have a discussion. And a different mode of conversation, and that's the one I'm hanging out with, is dialogue. And dialogue comes from dia and logos, which is meaning and flow. And roughly translated meaning, letting meaning flow through you. We're letting meaning flow through ourselves and through each other and make meaning together. And when we're in dialogue, those are the conversations where you kind of start somewhere and you don't know where you end up. And the practice I come from there is called the art of hosting. And if you ever heard of the process of a world cafe, an open space, or circle practice, sitting in circle, I mean, that's ancient practices that kind of have been combined in methodologies. And one of the biggest and most powerful tools we have in that practice when we work with groups, kind of creating a space for collective intelligence to find answers to issues we don't have answers to yet, is question. The better the question, the better the space. And often the issue today is that we are not asking the right questions. You can find very beautiful answers to the wrong question, and those answers don't help you either. And I love it when I hold space and people come together and they come in with a question and they get out with a different question, with a better question, more fitting question, or the next question, rather than answers. I think answers are temporary. It's always the questions that we find. And that's a specific mindset, to get into that curiosity and to ask questions again and not get stuck in answers, because our culture is predominantly wanting you to have answers. Thanks to our school system, we're always there because you get graded for answers, not for questions. I'd love a school system where we get graded because we find good questions rather than good answers. That would be a beautiful flip. And to get people into that mindset, some people out of the art of hosting practice came together at some point and was like, how do we get people into this curiosity mode and get them into questions? And then they invented this game called the Wicked Question Game. It's wicked because these are the questions you're like, God, I don't have an answer to this question. I really want to have an answer and I don't know what, like, oh God. Like, and it can be really big questions about life, like how do we solve the sustainability crisis right now? Like, how do we do that? Like, there's no one answer to that. Or you have something individuals like, how do I take my relationship to the next level? And you don't really like, this makes you a bit uncomfortable, and that's why it's called the Wicked Question Game. And that's what we're going to play here together now, to get ourselves into questions and dive in deeper. We're 10 people, so I think we're going to go into breakouts and split up in 2 groups, but I will demonstrate the game and explain it, and we're going to play it for like 25 minutes or so. And you need to find a good question to start with. No worries, this is not the question you're going to end the game with, but this is a question to start with. And let's do that first. I would invite you to find a question that you're sitting with. Something where you don't already have answers, but a question that is kind of cooking in you. You don't know what's going on. It can be something personal. It can be something that is work related. It can be something life related. You should have somehow a connection to the question, but it just really like find a question that resonates with you. And I will put on a song I was just playing a bit. Take 2-3 minutes and just maybe write down 5 questions, or write as many questions down as you can, and then pick one. Like the one question you'd like to inquire deeper today. I will put on a song and find the question, and then I explain the game. I don't want you to know the game yet before you have the question. So is that clear? Everybody good? Awesome. So putting on the song and everybody can write down a question. so that we don't overthink it. Let's keep it at that time. And write your question into the chat, that we have all the questions in the room and we know what questions we are starting with. Just write it into the chat. Yeah, Barbara, you have a question.
Pick one.
Pick one. One
Pick
question
one.
you wanna play the game with. A question you want more insights with, a question you would like to explore. I can also put my question into the chat. Okay, let's see. How does being relate to doing? Ah, nice. Why does the ego get in the way of intuition? How to get enough awake people together to speed up the sustainability movement? How can I step into my next stage of development with more ease? Why do I care about other people's feelings? Ooh, these are good questions. Oh, I love this group. Good questions, people. Nice. Okay. How to find the ideal balance of life in the world, of being of the world. Balance of prosperous without selling out, damaging environment, etc. Ooh, yeah. What are twin flames? Nice. Okay, this sounds great. Great questions, guys. So let's come to the game, and I will showcase this with one or two people who could volunteer to showcase it with me, and then I would say we go into two groups to make it a bit easier. The question works the following. So we going to go into breakout rooms, and then we're going to have a conversations. We start with one person and with their question and have a conversation. And then after a time, you switch to the next person. That person asks the question, you have the conversation, and you ask it. So that we rotate through. The clue is we only talk in questions with each other. No statements. We only speak in questions. And we only speak in open questions. So no yes or no questions, always open questions. That's how we're going to have a conversation for, I mean, we're good on time, so we're going to be 20, let's do 20 minutes in the room, and then see that you circle through everybody a bit, and you just kind of restart the game by someone else asking their question. And then you all have together, as a starting point, start with that person's questions, but you only speak in questions. So to get an idea how this works, I love Barbara's face already. So why don't you, Barbara and Trent, you guys play a bit with me, and we see how this goes, so that everybody gets an idea. Yes? Trent, you up for that too?
Why should we play with you?
How are we going to do this, Trent?
Where could this go?
I wonder if we'll figure it out.
What are we supposed to figure out?
I wonder if Hendrik has played this game before.
Does it matter that Hendrik played this game before?
How does he know
What are
to
my
say?
concerns?
What is a question we could ask that would shift this conversation?
I wonder where we started.
Why are ice bears white? Right? You could also let's stop there to see. Even if something super random comes to you, even that is cool. Like, it's really about just see where it goes. And if something comes up and you just ask that.
Do they eat seagulls?
Yes. So maybe you go in a very. What if you would approach life as a game? Yeah, exactly. Wouter. So this is how the game works, because with 3 to 5 people is kind of a good amount of people in the room. to do this. With 5 people, we can do 25 minutes, and then we will just do a short closing round, or we have a bit proper close. Now let's do a proper closing round. So let's do 20 minutes, 5 people each, and that might mean that one person doesn't have time to ask their questions, which is fine. Not everybody needs to. And I think 20 minutes is a good time. After 5 minutes each, I'm just going to write a short message that it might be good to switch to the next person, that you have 5 minutes to play with one question, and then you restart with the next question. Like, is it time for the next person to ask the question? Who's the next? Who might be the next person? And then you go over and have the next person ask their question, and you start over. Game clear? Yeah? No questions left? Okay, then I'm gonna pause the recording now. So good with that. Recording done. Play this at home, people, when you watch this on YouTube.